Boom. All right. It is classy die project number 55 time. What do you say? Here we are. I have my Civivi Teraxe and it is just begging for some color. This jade looks nice and all, but a nice darker red might look sweet along with that silver. What do we think? You ever watch a die project before? Well, jump on board. We're about to do this one start to finish. Soak it in, get your last looks of how it is as it comes out of the box. The Civivi Teraxe with the jade G10 handle scales that are kind of recessed into that cool Ferrari looking sports car design. I love it. Let's take this thing apart, change it up, put her back together. You get to watch the whole thing happen. Let's go right now. Got my little table cover so I don't potentially get any oils or anything on my nice display leather. All right, got the table set. Boom, let's have some dinner. Who's excited? What color? Oh, I said red already. All right, this is going to be a fun one. I really like the design of how these scales are recessed in there, so it's going to look really cool. Let's get it apart. Wow, is that... I was going to say, that looks like it's bigger than a T8, but it actually sits in there just fine. Also got some T8s on these body screws, which is cool. Just getting everything kind of started. Sometimes if you don't loosen one side and then do loosen the other, that one side can get stuck on that barrel spacer. So I just go ahead and loosen them all kind of evenly. And I'm noticing this is another design. Every once in a while we get one of these designs where you actually have to take the pocket clip off to access that other screw. Kind of interesting design, why they would put 3 screws. They could have just left one hole out and then just had the 2 holes for the pocket clip and have this screw right here be one of them. That's what is pretty common in a lot of designs. So this one they decided to go an extra screw, make it a little bit more solid. Why am I? You always think you've twisted it all the way and there's just a little bit more and it just sits in there. Come on. And it mocks you. All right. I have been wanting to do this one for a while. Long story short, I've been pretty busy. August is a real busy month for me. And I had a lot of knives coming in, did a lot of unboxings. Sometimes when you're busy, it's easier just to fall into a video of an unboxing because you got a couple setting over the side and you can just kind of get set up, open it up, get your first impressions. All right, now we got to start paying attention here, make sure what is sticking. For some reason, we've got something in there. Oh, it's that. I was really wanted to be stuck in there. Okay, fully lost my train of thought. Here we are. Okay, so that is, man, that thing. I might just have to leave that in there. And now these need to come out of this recessed area. And it is tight in there. Got it loose from this side. Almost need like some really thin blade. Trying to find something extra thin and slicey that I've got laying near me here that I can maybe use to get in between there. Wow, that does not want to come out. Might have to use other means, I'm not really sure. These are pinned in there really well though. They got pressure fit just right. All right, got that one out. Really cool looking liners though, right? I enjoy the design. I don't want to snap it, but it feels like it's just this side is just pressed in there tighter than it wants to. Free yourself. All right. Rather than have the video be long, we're going to cut. I'm going to get this out of here. We're going to wash them up, and then we'll start the dye. And to the kitchen we... And we're back. A quick little speed round dip for you right there. You saw it all happen on a time lapse. Basically at about 2 ounces of RIT dye and about 20 ounces of water. Heat it up to almost boiling. Drop these in there. Make sure there's no bubbles. And now we got this nice red. Let's get this thing back together. All right. This has to go through the side with the notch right there. Fits in there, and this must fit obviously on this one. Look at that, pop in. They were tight coming out, a little tight going back in. Hoo-hoo, look at that. Cool. Okay, wow. So we have these two there and there. We have this thin lanyard pin right there. Okay. Bearings have an open side and a closed side. The closed side is away from the blade. Let's try to put them back together the same way. It may not make a difference, but if it does, I would rather do it as similar or as the exact same as it came from the factory. All right. Let's see if we can click this into position here. I like those sounds. All right, we are in business. Enjoy these speed round dye projects. If so, hit the like button. Subscribe if you would like to see more. Okay, clip is going to go on that side. Oops. A little fidgety here with the screws today. This red came out dark pretty fast. I did not leave it in there for very long. And I mean, it does mix with the jade whenever you do dye. You can't choose the color. You can only choose the color plus whatever color you started with. So if it's jade, it's got that little bit of green to it. It's always going to have that shade added to the dye that you're putting with it. So if you use a white like G10, you're going to get the most similar to the original color of the dye because the dye is going to mix with that white, so that white's going to help make it pop. The jade is a little more dull of a kind of green color, so you can see it kind of brought it to more of a little maroon. So all the color that is already there will be affected. All right. Let's make sure when we put this back together, we keep it centered. I just did a boo-boo. There we go. Got to make sure that that gets tight enough that the captive pivot had shifted, and you don't want to tighten that down if it's not over the notch, because then it's going to pinch and maybe damage your scale. Okay, now it's in there. We can tighten it all the way down. I'm not going to crank it super tight, but I'm going to make it tight. It's just so we can get that blade centered appropriately. All right, now we're gonna go in and tighten these down. I know I haven't put the clip on yet, but the reason why is the clip gets in the way of this screw right here. So I got to kind of go through my standard assembly and then come back to that clip because I want to make sure that this set of screws is done before I close it up, because this is going to go here and it's going to prevent me from getting access to that screw. It's kind of an interesting, I don't know why they don't just use that screw as one of the clips like most other designs do. Alright, let's get this clip on here. I actually have a few other clips. I may consider swapping out a titanium clip on this one if I've got one that matches. Pocket clip screws right next to each other. I always like to go back and forth a couple times since they are so close. You get one tight and it kind of relieves a little pressure on the one next to it. Okay, we are there. Get the blade open and then we can loosen this a little bit. You want to make sure it's not wobbling right here. You want to keep her tight enough that it's solid when it's open. Still got a good drop. There's your flipper tab. We are back together. Woo! Okay, die project number 55. Couple back in limbo. We'll get back to them pretty soon. What do we think of this Civivi right here? Finished product. A little bit darker red, like I said, than I was going for, but I don't mind it. It does look a little darker on camera than it does to my eye right here. Let's get some close-ups. Kind of has a cool kind of a Ferrari sort of a look with that silver and that red. Comment below, what do we think? Enjoy it? Who's doing some die projects of their own? Tell me about them in the comments. I'd be interested to see. If you have any questions, let me know. I know some of these, as we've been going along, I might describe some things a little less, or like today I kind of just time-lapse that middle section. You can go back and watch some of my early ones. I did really get into a lot of the description stuff, but if anyone does ever have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm always available to try to answer what I can. A lot of cool custom stuff coming in the future. Watch a couple videos up on it up there. Been doing some neat laser stuff lately too. Stay sharp. We'll see you soon.